Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about economic policy. Economic policy. So dimension of economic policy. There are different kind of dimension in economic policy. Economic policy, we have internal market, we have cap, we have single currency, we have industry and competitive policy, we have other transport, trans-European network, research and development structure policy, and coherence. What is internal market? Internal market basically is based on customer union and single European acts like complete the internal market for freedom, government service, labor, capital, and so on. Custom union, internal trade, where we have eliminate all physical courts, eliminate all tariff or on trade goods. External trade, common external tariff. Each member state applies the same tariff to goods import from non-EC or EU countries. Then we have to think about custom union. Custom union, basically internal trade. Eliminate all physical courts, eliminate all tariff on traded good. External trade, common external tariff. Each member state applied the same tariff to good imported from non-EC or EU countries, and so on. Then we have to think about SEA, general, eliminate NTB, physical, technical, fiscal. These are the different kind of method which is based on SEA, general, eliminate NTBS. Also we have method, mutual recognition, harmonization, QMB, decision making, and so on. What is internal market debt? Internal Customer Union 1968 C, decision 1985 to 1986, operation 1995, implementation 1993. Internal market rationale. Negative integrations, like remove barriers, efficiency through competitive economic of scale. Positive integration, policy coordination, power of number, internationally, one voice of external trade negotiation. Cap, rationale for CAP, stability in the farm sector, farm income, price fluctuation far from products, domestic political interest, national interest, farm lobbies, and so on. Cap 2, main component of the policy, market control through single intervention price, guaranteed fund to support the common price, free trade in agricultural product with the community, screening of the world market in agricultural product through system of leave. Cap 3, how the policy work, guaranteed single price of each group of goods, everyone in the community, intervention mechanism to maintain the guarantee price, externally, import lives and export subsidies to make up the difference between quarantined price and world market price, internally buy up surplus production, store the surplus and sell on world market, and so on. Cap 4, funding mechanism, European Agricultural Guidance and Guarantee Fund, guarantee funds to maintain guaranteed price, guaranteed fund to support productivity. Then Cap 5, revenue, import levies, import of EC or EU, expenditure, purchase of internal surplus production at guaranteed price, shortage of surplus production until sold on the world market, subsidized to maintain guaranteed price, and so on. Cap 6, enormous cost, single largest item, EC or EU fund, welfare losses to consumer and taxpayer, to the world market for figures, producer, especially by the developing countries. Cap 7, cost of CAU to EU citizen in 400 EC per country, 250 EC from the consumer, 150 ECU from the taxpayer. Cap 8, Cap has long been in need of fundamental reform of the key elements in growth of Cap expenditure, reduction of level of guarantee price. Cap 9, reform of funding mechanism to eliminate welfare losses to the consumer and third consumer to reduce losses to the taxpayer, alignment of the external policy, to emerging WTO policy, stressing liberation in the trade in agricultural product. Caps 1976, 1967 single market for generals, 1969 funding mechanism, 1972 guidance, 1988 reforms, and 1992 reform of support system. Single currency, economic and monetary union, predecessor European monetary system, and exchange rate of mechanism. Single currency, like growing interdependence of national economic as a result of trade liberalization, reduce significantly the scope of autonomous and effective economic policy setting at the national level, call for policy coordination through strong institution to prevent user. Single current's primary goal of EMU, stable of exchange rate to reduce or eliminatory uncertainty, alignment of the rate of inflation to maintain the stable exchange rate in the long run. Single currency. Benefit of the single currency: eliminate transaction cost of the currency exchange and thus yield more efficiency in the market for the goods, service, labor, and capital. Reduce the total amount of the monetary reserve required to maintain the monetary system. Primary goals: stability of the exchange rate to reduce or eliminate eliminatory uncertainty, alignment of the rate of inflations, and so on. Benefit of single currency: eliminate transaction cost of the currency exchange and the high yield more efficiency in market for goods, service, labor, and capital. Reduce the total amount of monetary reserve required to maintain the monetary system. So this is the dynamic effect lead to prepaid economic growth. The core of the political as well as economical forward movement 1990 to 1991 parallel IGCS UMU on the political union centerprise of the Treasury Massachusetts creating the European Union and so on. So single currency is the Euros, European Central Bank, common economics. The process is the three steps towards the Europe. EMU process, three stages. First stage, full freedom of capital movement. Second stage, European monetary institution create to strengthen that cooperations between national central bank. Third, irrevocable fixing of exchange rate between participation currency, ECB being operation, European Council decides which currency meet criteria of conversion. The five comprehensive criteria: inflation rate not higher than 1.5% above average of three countries with lowest inflation rate. Budget deficit not in exceed 3% of the GDP. Growth rate not in excess of others necessary things. Convergence criteria: long-term interest rate on government bonds not more than 2% above rates of 3% best countries. No currency devaluations within the 2% into the union. Single currency, single stability currency abide by limited of the government budget deflect and national debt. Censors German in instead of enforcing fiscal discipline. Single currency. Main goal: price stability. Method: short terms, European system ECB or Euro NCB, European system of the central banks, and so on. Industrial policy: select intervention at the EU level. Goals: prior threaten traditional industry or rather than transaction. Fast modernization and increase productivity. Industrial policy. Policy focal point of activity: restructuring, employment promotion, European network or to in transaction, forum for cooperation and dialogue between EU and private business. Competitive policy focus on non-discriminations, abuse of the dominant market positions, oldest and most muscular policy area related to the internal market. Antitrust, mergers, liberalization, state aid, and international is a policy area, and complexity allows monopolize exceptionally when they are in public interest. SEC competitive in the world economy, optimal market result. Competitive policy seeks preventions of the abuse of internal market opportunity. So these are the many interesting format and other things. We are always observing that economical policy we have to adjust, economical explanations we have to maintain, and different kind of strategic alignments, especially types of problem area, problem region, traditional background region, regional of industry decline, region of economic sector affected by restructuring demands, and many structural policy we can discuss, structure and cohesive policy in the EU, regional policy, guidance component of cap, European special fund, stepping up on the cohesions as a priority necessity with enlargement, deepening of the unions, and size of structural funds is around 2,500 millions. So today framework for the structural policy or cohesive integrated of the three main origin structure funds into one structural fund instrument. So these are the different kind of policy we need to implement and we need to adjust. Thank you everyone. If you have any kind of questions or other things, you can ask me. Thank you.